Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to League of Europe. We are here tonight for Formula 2 action. It is Season 5, Division 1, Round 2 of the Championship as we take in the British Grand Prix from the Silverstone International Circuit. My name is James Head, going to be taking you through the stream. Yes, you can probably see that Mike's name was at the top of the stream. He is streaming, so you're going to be, I'm going to be technically conducting them in terms of the puppets tonight. But, Mr. Michael Edwards, you're here.
Yes, back in the commentary box, back with the new season. We're in round 2 of Formula 2 Season 5, and we're at Silverstone. It's a great track to be at, and a great track to come back to the com side.
It is fantastic to have you alongside me, of course. Normally a Division 2 pairing, we are in TTML, of course, with Dan Hoggard missing the last couple of weeks. Toxic leading the way, by the way, in the championship on 33 points. Sweetbrown and M Short tied for second on 32. Verstappen and fourth on 30. Miami in fifth on 27. I'll try and run down the full running of the grid order when we get to the formation up. However, we're about to get started into qualifying here. One-shot qualifying and, of course, the feature and sprint race awaiting our drivers. And we go on board with XL Lando, who will be hoping to try and get a really good result out on track. He's 7th on the standings coming into tonight. He DNF'd out of the sprint race. He comes through now turn 1 in Nikita Mazepin's car. Mazaspin, he might be out on track. But coming down in towards turn 3, Lando looking very nice to do there. Nice on the power. Now in towards turn 4 at Aintree, as he comes out of the loop, actually, and then in towards Aintree at turn number 5. And then runs down the Wellington Straight, of course, where the Grand Prix track holds in terms of the international track as well. 30.5 through the first sector from Lando, and now coming through Brooklands, and then in towards Luffield at turn 7. He runs out wide, trying to get the maximum effort on the power. Looking very nicely there. Toxic, Verstappen, Campbell currently on top 3, Sweet Crown. Rocco just dropping down, might have lost it, coming out of Luffield slightly for Lando, now through Woodcote. On the run down past the old pit straight, and on the run down toward the old turn 1. Now turn 9 here at Cops. So now comes up towards Maggots and Beckett's out on track. Let's see how he's going to get along through Maggots and Beckett's through 10, 11, 12. Very slow through there, but then through 13, and Lando now powers out of the corner, coming through now Chapel, and on to the hangers straight at 111.3 through the middle sector, so not a bad, actually, middle sector from Lando. He's up in third behind, Toxic behind Verstappen, so the chief rivals are towards the front end of the field. Lando coming now through Stowe, and then in towards Vale here, and then in towards the club, of course, at turn 18, through goal 16, and then through 17, and now through Club Corner at turn 18. That is a lap then of this historic British Grand Prix motor circuit, and Toxic is out on top by just over 1/10.5 of a second. There was a disqualification, a DNF further down the field, I think. Somebody crashed it coming out the final corner. We will see, in terms of the grid order, how everyone fared in just a second. And, of course, it is Toxic out on top from Lando in second. Sweet Crown in third. Campbell in fourth, with Miami in fifth. Rocco in sixth. Brent in seventh. With Zernema eighth. Prince Killer in ninth. And Nolan ran off the top 10. Less than a second separating the top 10. Larkin in 11th, Chill in 12th, Verstappen, RJDW, Sofian and Pharrell Fury all getting disqualified out on track. And Mike, pretty much the top guys, the top favourites coming into tonight are pretty much towards the top end of the field.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. It was a shame that Verstappen, unfortunately, got himself disqualified as well, because he was right in the mix also with Toxic, Lando and Sweet Crown in that battle for pole position.
Yeah, Verstappen obviously starting from 13th. Unlucky for some, he's got the Division 2 champion of last season, RJDW, behind him. This is a good point to take you through then the championship standings coming in tonight. We mentioned the top 5. If you remember the points, I'll run you through again. Toxic on top on 33. Sweet Crown and M Shorts tied for second on 32. Looking a bit overcast out on track. Verstappen in fourth on 30, with Miami in fifth on 27. Larkin 6th on 25. Then Lando in 7th on 18. Rocco and Zerdem tied for 8th on 17, and Campbell in 10th on 14. Brent and Nolan tied for 11th on 12. RGW in 13th on 10. Sofian in 14th on 8. And Pharrell Fury and Chill both down on 3 points in 15th position. Josh and Benny, of course, raced last week, DNF'd in either one or both races. Prince Killer is making his debut tonight. He is here tonight. And Noon, who I believe is back at university, if I'm not mistaken. He's not making it, and his connection, and he's going to be out tomorrow as well for TTML Division 1, which is an absolute shame, so he'll be missing that as well. But Toxic, only a point coming in tonight. I've heard on the grapevine, by the way, Toxic, he might be a little bit drunk.
We can't condone that kind of behaviour.
We can't. We can't, but if he's drunk, how on earth has he gone a tenth and a half of a second quicker than Lando in second position? And it's a really good performance from him in qualifying as well. Just how will he fare here tonight? We can see the tyre strategy on the left-hand side. Hard compound tyres for pretty much the whole field, barring Lando, Rocco, Brent and Sofian, all on a set of soft compound tyres. Only 2 compounds, of course, available here in Formula 2. Toxic on a set of hard compound tyres, Lando against a set of softs. You would imagine Lando will be quick off the start.
Yeah, Lando's looking for that early advantage, maybe get the gap and try and pull away as much as possible to then make that pit stop to maybe have a decent advantage towards the end of the race. But you got to think that soft tyres towards the end from Toxic, Sweet Crown, Campbell and Miami is going to be massively advantage to them in the later parts of this race.
Yeah, of course, the soft compound tyres, I think, can only last around 5 or 6 laps in terms of the tyre wear around here. Tyre wear normally in Formula 1 is about 5% around here, average per lap. So, it's going to be really tough, I think, on these cars, and especially if you try and lose it coming through the lower speed corners. With through Magnussen back into quite a low speed now, they'll be flying through here at about 120 mile an hour when they come through here next time around to start lap 1, of course. Toxic and Lando out on top, Sukan and Campbell 3rd and 4th in the second row, Miami and Rocco 5th and 6th. Rocco, actually, look at him. I remember him from last season in Singapore. He did a 3-way overtake around the outside in Singapore, albeit differently. Could he try and do it again? He's on a set of soft compound tyres. Surely he could be one of the guys to watch from 6th with Brent and behind him in 7th as well to watch out for.
Yeah, both Rocco and Brent are going to need to get past the guys ahead on hards as soon as possible, but we know Miami, Campbell, Sweet Crown, they're going to fight for every single inch of track that they can get.
Coming now through the final couple of corners, through Vale and in towards Club. Still checking, I've still got that error message, by the way, Mike, on my end in terms of trying to stream. But there we are now live, of course, and we're about to get going here for the feature race here in Formula 2. And Mike, quickly, who's your top 3?
I'm going to go with Toxic for the win in the feature race, Campbell 2nd, Lando 3rd.
Very interesting indeed. We'll see how these guys, of course, fare out on track, and the 5 red lights looking at the gantry are about to go out here for round 2 of the championship of Season 5 in Formula 2 Division 1. And it's lights out, and away we go. Lando gets a very good start. He's already going to get Toxic down and towards turn 1. And Lando has got an absolute insane start. He's on the inside line coming through Abbey, then through Farm, and Lando's got him already. Toxic down to 2nd. Sweet Crown in 3rd. Rocco is still in 6th position with Brent in 7th. Bolt on a set of softs. Campbell going side by side with Miami, just in behind, and actually 3 wide. Rocco's trying to go around the outside. Could he do the impossible? Surely around the outside of Miami, he could get him, and he has got him. Brilliant stuff by Rocco. He's up into 5th position. Lando still in the lead of the race. Toxic trying to hunt him down as we come down the Wellington straight for the first time with Brent and Miami on the back as well. Sofian, I think, has lost a few positions in behind as Rocco dives down the inside of Campbell, tries to go around the outside now through Brooklands, then in towards Luffield. He's already carving his way through the field, but Lando's out on top. Toxic in 2nd, and the front 2 beginning to pull away. Rocco was right on the back of Sweet Crown.
Yep, fantastic start from Rocco. He's trying to make the moves as quickly as possible. He's side by side with Sweet Crown going in.
Lovely.
2 cops, and he's down the inside. And Campbell following him through.
Brent getting the move done as well. Go on.
I was going to say this side by side going into Magnussen Beckett. And Sweet Crown backs out smartly, I would say. You don't want to spin there by going side by side.
Yeah, Sweet Crown looks like he's overworn his tyres just slightly off the start. Might have got a little bit of wheel spin, and that's just cost him. He's cost him 3 positions in the end. Rocco was getting 4 pretty much already. Brent is getting a position past Miami, which is what I was going to allude to. And actually, Brent goes into the back of Sweet Crown, taking it so gingerly, the Univirtuosi coming through there. But Brent right on the back of him. It's actually Miami dives down the inside. Can Miami try and get back at Brent here? Brent in the Trident, of course. Miami, of course, in the MP Motorsport, and goes around the outside, and they're still side by side coming across the line to start lap 2. The ghosting system might just fail here, and I think Brent realises that, and Brent now fends off, and he's still in 4th position. Zernemer actually is right on the back of Verstappen as well. This, I think, is for about 8th or 9th position on track. Nolan in behind as well. Larkin and Prince Killer are going side by side. They're further down the field. Prince Killer now pretty much overtaken by Larkin. Larkin still on the inside line. Prince Killer tries to chop him off. And this is for 11th and 12th position, apparently, according to my graphic anyways. Larkin on the back of Prince Killer, running down once again. I think this is for, actually, 10th and 11th position, out on track. And in fact, he tries to dive it down the inside as Larkin. Of course, he won in Division 2, and Miami getting under pressure. Hey, sorry, Sweetground getting under pressure from Miami. Rocco's really not getting away, though, as Campbell's overtaken him.
Yeah, Campbell managed to get through on Rocco, and that's heartbreaking for Rocco. He needs to get ahead of Campbell and try and pull away. Close up to the back of Toxic if possible, because right now, you know, Toxic has that 2-second gap.
And look at the gap! Look at the gap that Lando's got over Toxic. He's absolutely flown away. The softs against the hard. This is like bread and butter around here at Silverstone, certainly in these F2 cars. And Lando must be about 2 seconds ahead now of Toxic, who in turn must be about a second and a half, 2 seconds ahead of Campbell out on track. Rocco's in behind in fourth, and Rocco is going to try and get the job done here on the Scotsman. The Scotsman, of course, really put in a good performance last week in Miami, where we were last week.
We were in Brazil.
Brazil last week. Goodness me, it's been a long week's worth of commentary, honestly. Rocco is on the back of Campbell, and yeah, Rocco trying to get the move done. He's just feathering the tyres, feathering the throttle coming through Abbey, then through Farm. Larkin's still on the back of Prince Killer further down the field. We're on to lap 3, and now this is where the DRS, of course, will be enabled as Larkin goes straight into the back of Prince Killer, and he's got left side end plate damage as a result. It's
heartbreaking for Larkin. And now he's going to be easy pickings for Nolan behind, and we got Verstappen there right behind as well.
Sofiane's gone through on Chill as well, coming out of Aintree, as Verstappen right on the back of Nolan. Nolan now on the back of Larkin. Looks the inside line through Brooklyn. Surely it's going to be a one-way system through here, and it is. Nolan just about. Larkin's going to hang on in there, and Verstappen's going to try and go around the outside of both of them. Tries to switch on the inside. Could he get both of them? Running down in towards Cops. Larkin and Nolan still going side by side, though. They're fighting for position. All of these guys on the sort of hard combated tyres. Zerdimer's not entirely out of this either, as Larkin looks the inside line on Nolan. Larkin, even with that damage, he's still trying to fight the position. It's going to give Verstappen a brilliant run now. Running in towards Maggots and Beckett. He's got to hang on tight here, Verstappen. I don't think he should go for any move. He couldn't get one, I think. And in fact, actually, Nolan tries to fight it all the way around the outside, coming through Maggots, through Beckett. This is going to be brilliant from Nolan if he can try and pull it off. Verstappen's still there on the inside, and Zerdimer is going to get a great one out as well. Here's Nolan on the back of Larkin, Rocco on the back of Campbell. We don't know where to look, but a four-way battle for ninth, running down in towards Stowe, and Verstappen tries to go down the inside of Nolan. Larkin just leads it out with that left side end plate damage, and Verstappen is through, and he's into 10th position, could be through into 9th. He tries to go all the way around the outside of Vale, now in towards Club. Verstappen nearly, and look at all of this. Fiat, Pharrell, Fury, Chill, and RGW joining on the act as well.
This is fantastic, as we got Zradima down the inside of Larkin into turn 1.
How's he
done that?
Actually, no. Now Larkin has pretty much got out of the way of everyone, and actually there's a little bit of contact. I think Pharrell Fury has had a little bit of damage there, if I'm not mistaken. Chill and Pharrell Fury certainly came close. Chill tries to dive it down the inside of the XL man, but the XL man hangs on. Sophia, and on the back of Zerdimer for 11th position, out on track for Verstappen, right on the back of Nolan. Nolan trying to weave down the straight, trying to break the toe desperately as he now comes down the inside. Verstappen absolutely sent that down the inside through Brooklands, now on the outside of Luffield, and that is a really good move from Verstappen. He is through as Toxic in second position, picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, and that could be crucial come the later stages of this race. He's already 2.3 seconds behind Lando, and Campbell, who's on the same strategy as Toxic, is within that 3-second window.
Yeah, he is indeed. 2.4 seconds. Rocco was about 2.8, 2.9 seconds off the back of Toxic. And you would have imagined, actually, that Rocco on a set of softs would have got past Campbell by now. Looks like he's just holding something back, possibly toward the end of the race, reaching 8,400 RPM. He dives it down the inside, and that is half committed from Rocco. Sweetground's nearly running to the back of him as well in the Univirtuosi Callum Arnold's car, of course, as he looks the outside line. Nolan and Verstappen are side by side in the meantime for 9th and 10th, and that's still going side by side coming out of Stowe. Chill is through on Larkin further down the field as well. Sweetground, though, on the back of Rocco for 4th and 5th position. I'm sorry if I'm giving you the ring about in terms of the camera work. He right on track tonight, but goodness me. Sweetground on the back of Rocco. This is the feature race, remember, and we're third of the way through. It's Lando who leads Toxic second, Campbell in third, Sophia and Larkin both into the pit lane. I think one for damage and one to come on to set of hards.
Yep, Larkin and Sophia both diving into the pits. I think both of them may have picked up damage. I did see a front wing fly off earlier when Larkin had his bit of a moment. Sweet Crown down the inside of Rocco.
Just literally, I was listening there, and the rubbing of the bodywork against the cars. Goodness me, Campbell, though, is beginning to pull away in third position. Sweet Crown is attacking Rocco, and Rocco, I literally said 5 laps will probably be the limit around here in terms of the soft compound tyres. Sweet Crown's already in the back, and surely Miami's going to catch these two as well.
Yeah, you see Miami, he's just over, he's exactly on now, 1 second window. He just needs a little bit extra through Madison Beckett, and I think he may have just about done it. No, he doesn't.
I think he has. No, DRS detection zone, I think it's just before Maggots and Beckett. Sweet Crown now closing in on Rocco. There's a good fight further down the field as well, which we'll come on to in just a second. Sweet Crown, though, around the outside of Rocco, gets the job done. Brent, Prince Killer, 7th and 8th, but this is the battle I was going to go out on board with. 2 old warriors of Division 2 last season as Lando was into the pit from the lead of the race. RGW trying to dive it down the inside of the Irishman, Pharrell Fury. Pharrell Fury in the dams. RGW, of course, in the Carlin in Daravilla's car. As Pharrell Fury 13th and will be 10th position actually, because all the guys on the set of softs have came into the pit lane, and RGW on the back of Pharrell Fury. Oh, how I wanted to see this battle last season. We didn't, and now we're going to get it in Division 1 instead.
Yep, hopefully the battle is going to live up to the rivalry that they had in Division 2 last season. Of course, these two big rivals towards the front end of Division 2, along with the likes of Heated, Jordan, and the likes of Dirt Timana as well.
Yeah, Frosty Calvin along the lines of that as well in Division 2. Matthias and Nolan, I think, took you through the action, of course, for Division 2. I didn't catch the action, I've got to admit, so I don't know what happened. RGW, though, on the back of Pharrell Fury, not quite close enough on the back coming through Brooklands and then in towards Luffield. Pharrell Fury tries to fight the car, the dams against the Carlin. These two are warriors, of course, constructors-wise in Formula 2. And Pharrell Fury just getting close down slightly now by the Carlin of RGW. RGW trying to look to the inside line. He carries a lot more speed going through there. And actually, just noticeable on Pharrell Fury's rear right tyre, you can see a black line pretty much going through the compound of the tyre. That is the wear of the tyre beginning to hit. That's the blistering occurring on the tyre. So Pharrell Fury actually could be under a lot of pressure. He's going to get DRS on the back of Chill. Chill's going to get closed up. But RGW surely might have Pharrell Fury's number if Chill was to pull away slightly.
Yeah, it's all a question of opportunity right now. Is RJ going to get that opportunity to make the move on the Irishman for P10? That is the question, as the gaps are beginning to form slightly now. Everyone just outside or just about in within DRS in the case of Nolan and Verstappen. But Verstappen is closing up to Prince.
Yeah, he is 1.2 seconds. The Dutchman on the back of his fellow countryman, of course. Prince making his debut, I think, here in Formula 2. Certainly in Division 1 in my case. Certainly I haven't covered him before. Toxic leading the way by 2.8 seconds. And Toxic has only got a 3-second time limit at this stage. Chill has got 6. Sophian has got 3. And Larkin has got 6 seconds worth of penalties as well out on track. RGW on the back of Pharrell Fury. But I tell you what, Chill could be under a lot of pressure running down the hangar straight here. Not down this straight at the Wellington straight, the hangar straight further on around this lap, because Pharrell Fury has closed up about 0.4 of a second on the back of Chill as Larkin bangs in the fastest lap appropriately as well on a set of soft compound tyre. He's probably not going to get to the end of the race. RGW trying to close up as well on the back of Pharrell Fury, but the Irishman looking like he has got Chill's number at this stage. However, Chill, knowing him, he's not going to give up without a fight, that is for certain, as Pharrell Fury and RGW try to get a lot closer. Verstappen is now within 8-9 of a second on the back of Prince Killer, running down the hangar straight as well. They've just gone through Chapel. Toxic, though, leading the way, and Mike, in terms of the set of hards around here, is RGW is going to try and size up a move on Pharrell Fury. Don't think he's going to get the move done. I'm just trying to ep this out so I can actually confirm what I was going to say. On a set of hard compound tyres, these guys probably will be pitting in from, I would say, what, lap 9, lap 10, as RGW looks to the inside line now coming in towards Vale. Can he try and get the job done? Calling against the Dams. He tries to go around the outside, and Pharrell Fury just cuts him off of the pass, and that's good defensive driving from the Dams. Verstappen, though, on the back of Prince Killer as well. But in terms of the set of hards, when do you expect these guys to pit? Lap 8 out of 15 now. We're halfway through. Surely from around this lap.
Yeah, I'd think around lap 9, lap 10 is when we start to see the first few cars in. I wouldn't be surprised if someone stays out till lap 11, as we got Verstappen now all over the back of Prince Killer for P5, and Verstappen's been absolutely flying.
Fury's fell out the slipstream as well, or the DRS I should say, and chilling now. RGW tries to go all the way around the outside through Brooklands. Could he get the switchback coming through Brooklands? No, he can't. He's going to size him up on the exit of Luffield, I think. The Irishman and the Brits still going at it. These two titans of Formula 2 last season. Pharrell Fury and RGW now on the back, and RGW switches to the outside line. Of course, if there was overtake mode here, he'd be using up and probably get the move done. But he's going to have to do it the hard way, the old-fashioned Formula 1 ways. He gets a pretty good run coming out of Cops. He's not going to dive around the outside through Maggots and Beckett, is he? No, he is better than that, and RGW hangs on for 10th position. But you mentioned about Verstappen as well on the back of Prince Killer. He is closing up quite a lot on the back, running down in towards Stowe, but I don't think he is going to get the move done as Prince Killer is through into 5th, and Verstappen stays in 6th. And they're pulling away as well from Nolan. First man onto a set of hard compounded tyres into the pit lane is Campbell, followed swiftly in by Verstappen.
Very interesting, obviously looking for that undercut, and we'll see where they come out relative to Lando and Rocco for that matter in 13th. And right now we got RJ all over the back of Pharrell Fury still. And I think Verstappen coming into the pits now, absolutely perfect timing, because he was all over the back of Prince Killer.
Oh! RGW on the outside of the line. Pharrell Fury made a mistake coming through Farm. He looks to the inside line, but I don't think he's going to try and get the move done. Campbell, by the way, is already out the pit lane. Rocco is coming through turn 1. Campbell is ahead of Rocco by quite a distance. Verstappen is going to be side by side with Brent coming out the pit lane as well. I think Brent is just going to have the overspeed on him. It's actually going to be right side by side, and actually Brent just let him go. Verstappen on into 13th position, and he's just ahead of Brent, just about got out in front of him.
Yeah, I think that was wise from Brent. He's on the harder compound. He can't really fight against fresh softs.
Chill's just ran into the gravel coming out of Luffield, and he's lost a second, and he's picked up a 3-second time penalty as well now out on track as Chill. So Chill has just got to take a Chill out on track, and Pharrell Fury is going to be hunting him down. That was the worst pun I've ever done, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't want to rate it. I did not want to rate it.
1 out of 10, if that. Chill has actually still broken the DRS actually to Pharrell Fury. Toxic is in then from the lead of the race. Freak Brown should follow. Swiftly flew out on track at his way. If he was trying to swallow, then we'd be getting into a different kettle of fish. RGW on the back of Pharrell Fury, and actually Zerdimer and Chill both into the pit lane just ahead. So these guys are now going to be 3rd and 4th positions. Sweet Crown and Miami stay out. Toxic in the whole grand scheme of things, where is he going to come out in terms of Rocco and Lando out on track? Lando's coming out the final 2 corners through Vale and into Club, and I've got to be honest and say Lando's going to be ahead by a mile.
Yeah, but let's see what's going to happen with Campbell as he's coming into turn 1 now. And
he's picked up a 3-second time penalty as Lando.
Oh, that is heartbreaking for Lando.
That was coming out of Abbey, I think, where he picked that up, so that's even more heartbreaking. Toxic's going to be on the back of him. As long as Toxic does not pick up another 3-second time penalty, he is going to be right there or thereabouts. Verstappen, by the way, has jumped Prince Killer by an absolute mile as well. Sophia out on a set of hards is behind Zerdimer. All the guys on a set of softs now are beginning to come into play, and it looks like we're going to see a straight fight, possibly, between Lando and Toxic for the race lead. We've also got battles happening further down the field, of course. Prince Killer on the back of Brent for 10th. Sofian is on the back of Zerdimer, but I don't think he's going to try and get the move done on a set of hard compounded tyres. Brent runs really wide in the Trident, coming out now through. And the other MP Motorsport, of course, of Jack Aiken's car of Prince Killer now on the back, and he'll be looking to try and get the move done. I'll correct myself, he's in the Campos instead. The Trident, of course, being Brent. I'm getting myself confused with the colour of Miami's car, of course. As RGW is right on the back of Pharrell Fury, running now round the outside, coming through Stowe. This will be bold, this will be brave, and this will be brilliant if he can try and get the move done. But I think both of them are going to swiftly come into the pit lane. And RGW realised that Pharrell Fury was coming in, dropped him behind, and now we're going to get a fight straight out of the pit lane. It's Prince Killer right on the back of Brent, running now down in towards Stowe. I think Prince Killer's going to have this one, you know. In the Campos, he is through and he's into 10th position. And how much progress is he going to be making his way through the field? Where's he going to come out in terms as well of Miami, of Pharrell Fury and the likes?
I think Prince has lost a good amount of time of being stuck behind Brent for that entire lap, so I wouldn't be surprised if Miami comes out ahead here.
It's miles ahead. Miami's nearly side by side with Verstappen actually coming out the pit lane. So Miami on fresher tyres compared to Verstappen, 6th and 7th position. Sofian and Zerdimer have gone through as well. Chill has actually gone through on Pharrell Fury as well. Larkin, by the way, is into the pit lane once again. It's a disaster for Larkin out on track in Felipe Drugovic's car. But Lando leading the way, but look at the gap. Toxic, if he's half cut, he's not showing it at the minute. He's in 2nd position and he's 2 seconds behind. But he's picked up a 3-second time penalty in one of the most worst positions he can pick a 3-second time penalty up, the exit of left field.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Toxic was flying towards the back of Lando, but that 3-second time penalty now is a Herculean task. Not only has he got to catch up, he's got to extend that gap by another 3 seconds as Campbell picks one up.
Campbell, first 3-second time penalty, I think, of the night as well for him. So Lando now 1.9 seconds leading the way. Toxic is in 2nd, but he's got 6 seconds worth of time penalties. If he gets onto the back, I always say this in terms of the grand scheme of things, that Verstappen pulls in on the back of Rocco, looks at the outside line, the Brit on the inside, the Dutchman around the outside, and Verstappen absolutely sailed it round the outside through Stowe, and he's on much fresher tyres, but my God, that was easy, and Verstappen has literally outdone Rocco like Rocco did to him in Singapore last season, and Miami now onto the back of Rocco as well. Brent is trying to stay on the fight of Nolan. I think Nolan has just got through and he's into 9th position. But Verstappen has just done Rocco the dirty and he's up into 5th.
Yep, Verstappen absolutely flying. I was just on board with Miami there as he just takes a little bit too much out of turn 1. Picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. He's all over the back of Rocco here.
Switch back?
Possibly,
not
but
quite.
He's all over the back though. He could have a good run here. Maybe to have a little luck down the inside. We'll see if he gets close enough.
Rocco had earlier DRS deployment, I think, down the straight, but is it going to matter? Miami actually nearly goes cannon into the back of him, forces Rocco out wide, and Miami is just going to put Rocco under a little bit of pressure here. Do you know what? I think Verstappen and Miami might be working together. He's trying to just shove him through the corner. Now on the run down towards Cops. Just go for it, man. He's an absolute sitting target out on track. Rocco's on the inside line. Miami's on the outside line. Surely the outside line is going to work here. He will try and switch it back. And again, Miami is not going to try and get the move done. He's been a little bit more hesitant for my liking. Definitely not in towards Maggots and Beckett's from out on track. RJDW, by the way, and Pharrell Fury are quite close further down the field as well for 14th and 15th out on track. So all beginning to unfold. Chill on the back of Savian, but Miami on the back of Rocco. Surely now this is the time to get the move done. It's on the outside line. He's got a full car width ahead, running down and towards Stowe. Rocco dives it down the inside. Not good enough. Miami's through.
Yeah, but as we got Chill now on the inside of Sofian for 12th place. Easy as you like, and behind we got RJ and Pharrell.
What a battle this is between the two Division 2 Titans from last season. RGW on the inside line, Pharrell Fury's on the outside line. No quarters given, and RGW has got the position. He's through into 14th.
Absolutely great battling between these two. It's difficult to keep up with it as Pharrell picks up a 3-second time penalty.
And RGW weaving there slightly down the straight as well, maybe to say, you know what, that was a good battle, I'll give you respect for that. Or he was just saying, well, you're going backwards now through the field, you're in 14th position, and you may as well just see the back of my car and disappear into the distance. And I think that's probably what it was, because it's now 6.5 tenths of a second. Zerdimer's on the back of Brent, running down through P10 and P11. That's 13 out of 15, by the way. I didn't realise we'd gone through this race that quick. Lando out on top. Toxic second, Campbell in third, Sweet Crown in fourth, Verstappen fifth, Miami sixth, Rocco in seventh. Rocco actually, on a sort of hard compound of tyres, he's only at 4 tenths off the back of Miami. Are we seeing a switch between softs and hards?
It's borderline at the moment, I think, as we got Toxic now just within DRS range of Lando, but you got to think it's just a little bit too late to get that gap out to 3 seconds. He's going to have to maybe force Lando into making a mistake and picking up a 3-second time penalty to take the win here, as Swadema gets through on Brendan.
Oh, Lando's lost it! Lando's into the pit lane! Lando's into the pit lane! Oh, he's actually lost it coming through Club! Lando has lost it coming through Club! I was wondering why Toxic had taken the move for the lead of the race. And Lando was stunned coming out of Club. He's got grass on the tyres and everything. He's in 4th position. And Lando is an absolute disaster for the Brit out on track. He had the race pretty much controlled. I was about to say that Toxic wasn't really gaining on him lap upon lap. And Lando could have been in the position to win that. He might have just bottled a win.
I think that's exactly what he's done. I think right now it is very close between Sweet Crown and Toxic in terms of the penalties at the moment. I'm just going to have a look at the gaps of leader. Yeah, 2 tenths of a second.
Wow. It's going to go close. It's going to go close, I think, down into the final couple of corners of the next lap, of course, lap 15. Toxic, though, leading the way. It's Campbell in second, and it's Sweet Crown in third. Lando in fourth. Can he try and recover the car to try and make some sort of charge at Sweet Crown on the final lap of this race? Everyone is split now like a washing line. Larkin, I think, has got the fastest lap of the race, if I'm not mistaken, or he's about to get the fastest lap of the race coming across the line. Oh, and he doesn't. Doesn't even improve on his lap time. I'm disappointed in Larkin.
Is Toxic at the moment the man with the fastest lap?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, he'll get the extra point, will he?
I believe so.
So he could be on, actually, for the Grand Slam. He could be on for pole position, fastest lap, and then the race win, which would be absolutely phenomenal from a man on track as Toxic leads the way onto the final lap of the race. RGW, by the way, is on the back of Sofian, so that could be quite an interesting battle. The 13th position on the back of Sweet Crown. Now, with no penalties, 6 seconds, dead on, 6.1, just off the back of Toxic. Toxic has now got to treat this final lap like a qualifying lap. Sweet Crown has also got to treat this lap like a qualifying lap. And Campbell in the middle has just got to hold Sweet Crown up.
Yeah, but for Sweet Crown, the one advantage he has is that he'll have DRS.
Oh, Campbell!
Oh no, Campbell!
Campbell has picked up a 3-second time penalty at the death, and that's now 6 seconds. And that actually could be that. Sweet Crown is 6 seconds off the back of Campbell, and he's now really beginning to pressurise. Speaking of pressurise, RGW down the inside line of Sofian. Down the inside he goes into 13th position. Through into Brooklands. Look for Ralph Fury's right on the back of him as well. Sweet Crown though is right on the back of Campbell, and Campbell now is surely going to be playing wingman to Toxic. He's going to hold him up as much as possible not to get the 6 seconds out. You can see, in terms of the body language, Campbell wants this. He wants to defend the second position, but Toxic is teammate ahead, but isn't enough. Sweet Crown now to the outside line. He's gone past him, and now this is going to be watching the left-hand side of the screen. It's 6 seconds dead on. It's 5.9. It's 6 seconds again. It's just fluctuating. Toxic needs a really good final couple of corners. Comes out at Club. He will win out on track. Will he win the race? It is going to be so close. I think he's done it, you know.
Oh, no.
Sweet Crown ran the final corner. And he steals it by 400ths of a second. Toxic, goodness me, put in a real good effort there. He wins out on track, but Sweet Crown takes the win on penalties. Lando, in the end, has recovered up to a podium in third because of Campbell's 6 seconds time penalty. Sweet Crown has taken the race 1 victory, or race 2 here, of course, tonight. We're waiting on Larkin to come across the line, but my word, drama personifying it. All it came down to was 400ths of a second.
That is incredible. Oh, but I think we have to say Lando bottle job.
Lando bottle job, yeah. I mean, to finish nearly 5 seconds off the back of Sweet Crown and Toxic, even after that spin, which I would say cost him about, say, 7, 8, 9 seconds probably in that region, just comes to show what a good driver he actually is when he puts his mind down to it. He could be one to watch, of course, in the sprint race that'll be coming up. I believe it's 12 laps, I should say, out on track, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 11 or 12, I'll get that confirmed. Larkin now coming through still. He's going to finish in 16th position. It's a disaster for our Division 2 winner, of course, in Singapore last time out. If I've just ruined your evening for watching Division 2, then I'm very, very sorry indeed. Larkin now coming out through the final couple of corners. He's really just feathering the car through to the line and comes across the line to finish in 16th position. Looked like he came in AI mode, to be honest, right at the end of that race. But that is it for the feature race. Verstappen doing a very weird pose, I've got to say, getting awarded driver of the day by the in-game fans. But it is Sweet Crown up the virtuosi, says Jordan. Gold Crown 19. He's now Gold Crown 19. He's taking his first win of the season, and more importantly, he's right up there in terms of the championship.
Yep, I believe he's taken the lead of the championship now, I believe.
Yeah, he will have. He will have, because obviously Toxic stole pole position, fastest lap. I think Sweet Crown's leading by 2, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Sweet Crown, though, out on top from Toxic in second. Picks up the fastest lap of the race. Lando went third with Campbell in fourth. Verstappen, 13th on the grid, up to fifth. Really good drive from him. He might be one to watch in the sprint race. Prince Killer in sixth on his debut. Miami in seventh. Rocco starting from a reverse grid pole position in eighth. Zerdimer in ninth. Nolan in 10th. Brent in 11th. RJDW in 12th, getting the better of Pharrell Fury. Sofian in 14th. Chill 15th. And Larkin in 16th position. That is the end of race 1, the feature race, the sprint race still to come. And Mike, we were treated to an absolute humdinger, and all it came down to 400ths of a second out on track.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Right on the edge of your seat until the final lap, the final moments, the final corner. And it was the traction coming out of the club. That's what won it for Sweet Crown.
Lars wants to see wet races, by the way. Saw a comment at 8 o'clock. Lars wants to see wet races. I do believe it was wet in Division 2, if I'm not mistaken. I'm afraid to say, Lars, if you're still tuning in, it's dry. Once again, for the sprint race. It's typical British weather. It's cloudy, but a bit humid, I would say, out on track.
Yes, we'll go with that.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really say much because you live in Wales, and the weather in Wales is normally about 10 times as worse than this.
Well, that's my summer right there. that's the kind of weather I'll go down Barry Island and I just lay on the beach.
Goodness me, you don't want to be doing a full Gavin and Stacey where Rob Brydon, of course, who plays Uncle Bryn in that, comes out of the water in full like Speedos. Do not imagine that thought to people tuning in. Sprint race is going to save us. 11 laps awaiting these drivers out on track, all on a set of hard compounded tyres, which is not surprising at all. Jordan, by the way, saying in the comments, they're tied on points, with Toxic getting +2 for pole and the fastest lap, so should be still ahead by 1 point, apparently.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah, because he would have picked up 25. Yeah, because actually, Sweet Crown only outscored him by a point. That's a good point, actually. So Toxic's picked up the fastest lap. I think that, yeah, Jordan's correct. They're tied on points coming into the second sprint race of the season.
It's all going to come down to this. Who's going to be leading the championship after the sprint race? Will it be Sweet Crown? Will it be Toxic? Or will it be someone else?
I think it might be someone else. You know, these sprint races always like to throw up a bit of a curveball out on track. And I mean, last week in the sprint race, in case you didn't tune in Brazil, Verstappen took the win. It was a real cracking battle between Verstappen and Larkin. Go and watch that back after this. I kid you not, it was one of the best battles you probably can see in a Formula 2 car. They must have went at it for about 7 or 8 laps out of that race in the sprint race, and it was just phenomenal to commentate on and phenomenal to watch. Verstappen, 4th position. He's starting 4th. He was 4th in the championship coming into tonight. He's 4th in the race here, obviously finishing 5th in the feature race. How do you think he's going to get on? Sweet Crown and behind, Larkin and behind, of course, him that day, starting right down the back in 16th. And Miami, who finished in 3rd, he started in 2nd.
Yeah, I think this will be right where Verstappen wants to be, and we saw his pace coming through the field from 13th, where he ended up after qualifying. He was in the battle for pole position as well throughout most of it until he just extended the track limits. So I think he's going to be one to keep an eye on. But Rocco starting on pole position, definitely he's going to give no quarter out in front.
Verstappen, by the way, saying at the end of the feature race there that their tyres were on 80%. 80% around here at Silverstone is something to behold. Sprint race now about to come up, and Mr. Michael Edwards, you're going to take the start.
Okay, so we're just going to wait for the 5 red lights to get us going. Eventually. There we go. So, here we go now to those 5 red lights. Lights are out and we are underway, and it looks like a very good start there from Miami, drawn alongside Rocco already for the race lead down the inside into turn 1. Oh, but Rocco able to keep a hold of it as Verstappen's managed to get the jump. He's going down the inside of Miami.
Oh, and there's contact in behind. Lando has gone into the back. Oh, there's all sorts of carnage. Prince can have on board with Campbell. Campbell caught up in a right sandwich there. Toxic's already through and he's into 3rd. There's absolute carnage in the background. There's more spinners. The sprint race really living up to expectation. The RGW was being sent round there down the inside line. Side by side for the lead. Well. Lando and Miami, 1st and 2nd. Verstappen has been caught up in a lot of incidents there as well.
Yep, Verstappen just got forced off track there as they were going through, I believe the corner's name is Arena or something?
Entry, is
it?
It was through turn 3, that was the village section, then into the loop. So that's where the contact happened with Verstappen. It looked to me, and I'm just saying on board with this, I was on board with Campbell in all that melee. I think it was Lando down the inside. I'm not sure if he got contacted in the background, but Lando certainly died on the back of Prince Killer. Prince Killer then went into the back of Verstappen and then calls that Miami, though, in the round the outside for the lead of the race. Coming through Stowe, runs out wide, and he doesn't get the move done. Rocco stays ahead, but they have got a good advantage. 9/10 of a second over Toxic and Campbell trying to chase down as well. Sweet Crown and Brenko side by side.
Yep, Sweet Crown looking around the outside. He'll have the inside for the final corner and he'll get it done. But look at Toxic already up into 3rd place.
Chills down the inside of Sophia and running down in towards turn 1. There's a little bit of contact. Larkin is now through on Sophia, and that could have ended in disaster there. Actually Larkin now on the back of Chill. This is for 13th, 14th position I think now out on track. So Rocco leading the way, Miami in 2nd, Toxic in 3rd, and yeah, you're right, Toxic must be about 6/10 of a second I would say. Off the back of Miami, running down the Wellington straight once again. The graphics will fix themselves to the left-hand side. It's Rocco who still leads, Miami in 2nd, Toxic in 3rd. But look who's coming along with Toxic. Campbell, his old rival, his now teammate here in Division 1 tonight, and for this season, of course. And Campbell, right on the back of Toxic. It's going to be a 4-way fight for the lead by the end of the lap.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the time delta between Campbell and Nolan, and that's not 300ths of a second, I must say.
Definitely not. It's definitely not 300ths of a second. 500ths of a second, actually. It's just under 2 on my screen. Larkin was on the back of Chill. He was under a little bit of pressure there. But Miami still trying to get onto the back of Rocco. It's about 4/10 of a second, I would say, for the lead of the race. Running down the straight. Toxic in 3rd. Campbell in 4th. A man, though, that is going to try and go for the move. Well, no one's going to go for the move. They're not even close enough to each other. Rocco still leads. Miami in 2nd. Miami, actually. Right on the back of Rocco coming out of Stowe.
Yep, Miami trying to get ahead. He's pressurising Rocco for this race league because he knows he's got Toxic and Campbell right behind us. Lando picking up a 3-second time penalty and he's all the way down in last.
Miami right on the back through Abbey, and 3-second time he's already picked up by Chill and Lando. Toxic, by the way, picked up the fastest lap of the race. Sun rarely here in Britain is about to come out, it seems. It's trying to burst through the clouds.
Verstappen having a little look down the inside.
Oh, Prince Killer's on the wall! Prince Killer's on the wall! Coming out through turn 3, he's got left side end plate damage just to stay on the car. I think he's just purely spun that, possibly by himself. Might be a little bit of contact. Chill though, trying to go now side by side with Zerdimer in behind Verstappen. Verstappen is through on Zerdimer, and Zerdimer now forced out wide. Chill is now through, and look at Larkin. Larkin's going to go around the outside through the field. Can he try and get the move done? Zerdimer's still on the inside line. Chill's through the middle of them, and look at Larkin. He's going to get boxed in surely by Zerdimer. It's going to be 3 wide, running down in towards Cops, and Zerdimer somehow comes out on top of that. But for how long can Larkin try and hold the position? He's down on the inside line through Chill. Can he get through Stowe? Get the move done. He's into 11th. Chill surely has to give way here. Larkin is through, I think. Chill is going to be nicked to the curb. And Larkin is through. And he's into 11th position. And look at Toxic on the back of Miami.
It is all kicking off here in the sprint race as Toxic all over the back of Miami. Rocco trying to defend also. And this is a fantastic battle we got going. A freeway scrap for the race lead.
Sofian on the back of Chill as well. Rocco though leading the way. Miami in second. Toxic in third. And look at the speed of Toxic. He surely is going to get the back of Miami. He is weaving down the straight. He's being very cheeky indeed, saying, I'm here, my mate. I'm here. Chill is spun. Coming out the final corner. He's got in contact. And Lando was spun as well. Lando was spun at the same corner. He spun up from the lead of the race in the feature race. And Lando is round. And that is an absolute disaster. He's just about going to get the car going. In fact, I can't even see that car moving on the mini-map. It's now moving. It's an absolute disaster for Lando. And he's now down into 15th position, and all sorts of points scoring positions that could have been his are now not. A Sweet Crown tries to dive it down the inside through Nolan, Zerdimer, and Larkin. Zerdimer.
Verstappen.
Thought he was going down the inside. I thought it was actually 3 wide. That's why I stopped.
Look at Larkin, he's trying to get the better exit on Swadima, and he's going to have the slipstream of Verstappen. He's going to draw alongside. He's out the inside.
He doesn't anymore. He's still at the inside. Oh my god. Zerdimer hangs around the outside. To be fair to Zerdimer, he had the line, the natural line going through the corner, and Larkin just got cost, I think, by that. He ran on the slipstream of Verstappen, and that's what cost him in the end. And he could have got the move done, but he didn't in the end. And Zerdimer now throwing he's into P10, Larkin P11. Of course, these two very good rivals out on track. Sweet Crown closing on Nolan down the inside. He goes in towards Stowe. Can the German get the move done on the Brit? No, the Brit hangs around the outside. They're still pretty much side by side, wheel to wheel, mano to mano. But Sweet Crown is through and he's into 5th position. And surely Nolan is now going to let Sweet Crown go, so that Nolan can be dragged into the race as well as we approach the halfway stage here at Silverstone.
Yeah, that would be the smart play for Nolan. Just keep within DRS. Let Sweet Crown just drag you towards the front, because you never know. We've seen 3-second time penalties absolutely fly, and they could fly again.
Bump drafting in behind, Zerdimer and Larkin. These two Excel boys. I'm not sure if bump drafting really works in these Formula 2 cars, but I'll tell you what does work. Trying to go around the outside through Village. He's going to try and get the switchback now, coming out of entry, through the loop and then through entry. And in fact, he just loses position for that as Miami on the back of Rocco. Four-way battle for the lead of the race. And you would imagine if this begins to kick off, Sweet Crown and Nolan are going to be on the back like you can, well, as fast as you can say, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Now Miami is about to say that on the back of Rocco. Tries to look to the outside line, coming around the outside of Stowe. Can he try and get the move done? No, he can't. And Toxic on the inside line. Hand of rage from Miami. And Toxic now on the inside line. Well, watch it from Campbell's perspective. Campbell is still looking in behind, and Toxic, fair play to him. That is what a champion's move looks like, and Toxic is too. And he's into 2nd position, and now he's on his old rival and very good friend Rocco's back for the lead of the race.
Yeah, let's see if he can get this move done. Rocco defends the inside line. Toxic's going to have to go all the way around the outside and
switch back. Oh, it's like a pond on the Red Sea! Toxic down the inside line, trying to get the move done. Rocco is still there, though. Look at Miami and Campbell going side by side. 2 by 2, like Noah's Ark they go. And look at Sweet Crown and Nolan beginning to get into this. Ralph Fury is up to 7th position. He's fighting with Brent coming out of club. Toxic leads the way. Campbell now on the back of Miami. And look at Pharrell Fury on the back of Brent as well. All sorts of all sorts of action really beginning to unfold out on track. Toxic leads, Rocco second, Miami in third, Campbell in fourth. We're going to need a break after this one. Campbell does it down the inside of Miami! Oh, there's contact, and Campbell really shouldn't have gone for that move. He fights the car, and that could have given, actually, DRS to Sweetpound and behind, but it hasn't, luckily for him. And Sweetpound, only 7/10 away, and he's still in a relatively clear air. Nolan being dragged along with him. This is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yep, this is what you need on a Monday evening. A six-way battle for the win.
Six-way battle for the win. Lockdown might have ended here in the UK, but I tell you what, these guys are getting locked down in some hard nailing action here in Formula 2. Toxic leading the way by 6/10 of a second from Rocco in second, Miami in third, Campbell in fourth at the halfway stage with Sweetpound in fifth, Nolan in sixth. The top six pretty much have themselves between them as Brent tries to fend off the attentions of Pharrell Fury and Verstappen in behind. Lock in 10th, by the way, from 16th on the grid. Zonema, Sofian, RGW, Chill, Lando. Prince Killer, by the way, came in for a set of softs after his damage coming through turn 3. And he is down in 16th position as RGW tries to fight on the back of Sophia, and the Frenchman now under pressure from the Division 2 champion of last season, and he looks to the outside through still, the dams against the Carlin. Carlin tries to look to the inside line. Of course, it was Pharrell Fury and him going at it in the feature race. The sprint race, though, RGW dives it down the inside line. And Sophia, I think, is going to give him right away the corner. Yeah, RGW gets the move done. And if that's a champion's move from last season's champion in Division 2, then RGW is moving up into 12th. And that was quite easy in the end.
Yep, fantastic stuff from RJW. And I've noticed a lot of penalties coming up tonight for Chill. And we're seeing a fair few coming in the sprint race for Lando. It has absolutely gone from bad to worse for XL Lando.
Yeah, Lando really losing his way, I think, out on track. Obviously, with that spin in the feature race from the lead of the race, that would have knocked his confidence. And then to be 15th position out of 16 drivers here in the race for the sprint race and the race, try and get as much points as possible in terms of the championship. This might be the race that he looks back at if he gets a really good string of results together after this one. This will be the race he looks back at and thinks to himself, well, that could have been the one for the championship. That's what it could be.
Yep, as we got Verstappen over the back of Pharrell Fury and Brent not too far up the road as well. We got QVR Campbell over the back of Miami. We'll see if he can close up down the hangar straight.
No. I'll offer you a simple answer, no, he's not close enough. You've got to be really, ideally, within 0.3 of a second to try and have a go, and the car ahead has got to be without DRS. And Miami might just be without DRS, actually, now coming through Vale and into Club. Sofian's going to try and look to the inside line now in towards Vale. He's going to try and do an RGW from last lap, actually. The Frenchman really fighting with the back of the Brit. The Brit, though, hangs it to the inside line. Sofian's going to have the natural racing line, ran the outside line, and still side by side coming out of Vale through Club. And Sofian, he might be off track, but I tell you what, he had the car ahead before he went off track. And he's doing it up into 12th. To be honest, he ran out wide just because he didn't back off the throttle. It's as simple as that. But to be honest, I think that was fair enough because he gave each other room as Toxic. This is the lead.
Yeah, he's made a mistake coming onto the Weldon straight, and he's lost a position to Miami as well.
And that was a bit of lag there, I think, from Toxic as well, if I'm not mistaken. Certainly a bit of ghosting on my end. Rocco now lead of the way. How's that just handed Rocco the win?
I'm not sure, but here we go. Teammates about to do battle. Toxic and Campbell. We got Sweet Crown in just behind as well.
Oh.
And
typical. The errors fixed itself.
Rocco actually looking pretty decent at the moment. He's just about got that 1 second window. He's just going to allow Miami just to stay on the teetering edge of DRS.
Yeah, but you would imagine, surely, the two drivers in the BWT race lap cars now, not the BWT Ardens, as I was about to say, Toxic and Campbell, 3rd and 4th position, they're surely going to try and lead on to the back of this battle. Nolan, by the way, for somebody that was so off the pace in the Dutch Grand Prix in pre-season last season in Division 1, he's doing a remarkable job, I think, to try and keep up with these guys. Yeah, he's losing time now, but I tell you what, Nolan really trying to get himself into contention. if this kicks off, final 3 laps of the race, he could be there to take everyone out on track. As Prince Killer is coming out the pit lane just in behind these guys as well.
Yeah, Nolan doing a
Oh,
fantastic...
Toxic! Dives it down the inside, tries to get the move done. That's a bit rough and tumble, but I tell you what, Toxic's through. Stewards might want to have a look at that one. He's got DRS as well on the back of Miami, but Toxic is through. And he's into second position. Pharrell Fury and Verstappen are side by side. I think Verstappen actually just made a bit of contact with Pharrell Fury on the inside line coming out through entry. And now Verstappen trying to look onto the back of Pharrell Fury. Pharrell Fury, in the meantime, trying to look onto the back of Brent. 2.5 laps to go. And my goodness me, we could be in for an absolute treat. Lando was into the pit lane, possibly to go for fastest lap of the race. If he's got a set of soft compound tyres, he has. Toxic now under pressure from Miami for second as Toxic actually catches Rocco.
Yep, Toxic definitely the faster of these drivers at this moment. He's absolutely flying towards Rocco, and we have a 5-way scrap, and they're only separated by a second and a half, all 5 of them.
Yeah, 1.4 seconds, 1.3 seconds now separating. You could throw a towel over the top 5 out on track, which is really good to see. Verstappen on the back of Pharrell Fury looking to the inside line, not getting the move done. He tries to half commit it coming through Stowe. Can he try and get the run out coming in towards Vale? I don't think he can. Verstappen on the back of Pharrell Fury tries to look all the way around the outside. Oh, Pharrell Fury just moved across him. And Verstappen is still on the inside line. He still could get this one done, you know. Verstappen is just off the back of Pharrell Fury. Pharrell Fury just leaned in, I think, off the camber of the corner, and he's in 8th.
But I think Verstappen has... I think I know exactly what Verstappen has done there. He's tried to make sure that Pharrell Fury cannot get DRS on Brent, but it just looks like Pharrell is just about on the teetering edge of it. I think he has got it though.
He has. Here's Toxic for the lead of the race. Down the inside line in towards Brooklands. Him and Rocco go side by side, and Toxic is through into the lead of the race. But now, what is Toxic going to do? Surely he's going to hold up Rocco and make this possibly a 6-way fight, because Nolan is not entirely out of this either, remember. He's 1.4 seconds off the back. Yes, he's got a penalty. Rocco's now going to try and come back at Toxic to the outside line through Stowe. There's a yellow flag somewhere out on track. That's Prince Killer. I think that has ran further down the field. But Rocco now to the inside line. They're going to hit each other coming into North Beckett and Rocco is through into the lead of the race. Toxic backed off slightly, but that is again advantage of DRS, and in fact Rocco does not get the DRS, and that is crucial. Toxic now can just sit in behind, wait, but this is going to be really key for Toxic. He is now in the controlling point of this race. He got to the inside line now, coming down into a Stowe, and he looks to try and recover that, and that was just silly, I think, from Toxic. He tried to dive it down the inside line, and there was only one way that gap was going to go, and Campbell has contacted the back of Rocco, trying to make a move at Miami. Sweet Crown's right on the back of this as well. Final lap of the race, rough and tumble in the sprint race. Rocco leading, Campbell second, Miami in third, Sweet Crown in fourth. Any 4 of these can now win.
Yeah, but here goes Sweet Crown. He's got a monster run on Miami.
Waiting behind.
He can't make the move though, and. I don't know where to look. There's too much action going on right now.
Pharrell Fury on the back of Pharrell Fury, yeah. Brent as well, 8th position. Pharrell Fury in 9th. Rocco leading the way. Campbell tries to look to the inside line. Oh my god, that's a late one, and he's got the move done. Campbell into the lead of the race. It's the final lap here, and Campbell, the Scotsman, has just dive bombed it down the inside. Got the car stuffed, and he's into the lead of the race. That's probably one of the most insane moves I think I've seen on the brakes down in towards Brooklands.
We'll see if he's going to be able to have enough to hold on, because Rocco will have that DRS advantage now.
It's between these two, I think. I think it's between these two, because Miami's now 5.5 tenths off and losing time. Sweet Crown. Actually, just saying that, Miami's just got a whole lot of time. Rocco tries to maximise the exit coming out of Stowe. Rocco has got one more opportunity. I can envisage where this could go, actually. He could look to the inside line. And Campbell... Rocco tries to... No way! No way! For the race lead, he tries to hang it off track. Campbell on the outside line, coming through Vale. This is still side by side. Any one of these two can win. Rocco is through. Campbell tries to fight the car. He's forced Rocco out wide, and it's going to end the finish. Look at Miami. Campbell down the inside line. There's contact. Oh my goodness me! Rocco has taken the win out on track. Campbell in second, but I tell you what, that got very, very late on out on track. RGW, by the way, side by side with Sofian coming across the line as well, just in behind. Rocco led the way. Campbell in second position, and that's one of the most craziest finishes I think I've ever seen in Formula 2.
How do we have two races back to back, the feature and the sprint race, separated by around half a tenth?
400ths of a second in the first race, 500ths of a second in the second race. Rocco wins, Campbell in second, but I've got to be honest, I think the stewards might agree with me on this as Chill comes across the line to finish in 14. Prince Killer, by the way, DNF'd out on track. Lando's got damage, left side end plate damage for Lando out on track. Rocco might be under investigation for the stewards, I think, because he definitely made Campbell close up on the inside line, running around the final corner. I'm not sure if Campbell would have got the win, but certainly Rocco could be under slight bit of investigation, possibly.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what the stewards say about all that. All we can say is, for right now, Rocco takes the win ahead of Campbell and Sweet Crown in third as we wait for a very disappointed Lando to cross the line.
Yeah, he comes across the line with damage. Nikita Mazepin, quite literally out on track, I'm afraid, for Lando. I will apologise to him for that horrible one that I've just given him. Driver of the day, awarded by the in-game fans, is Sweet Crown, our feature race winner, of course. Sweet Crown finishes in third position, I think, or fourth position in the end, out on track. Really good racing out on track. Rocco, though, he is a sprint race victor once again, like he did last season, and Rocco has taken the sprint race win. Campbell in second, Sweet Crown in third.
Yep, and Jordan just said in the chat, now it's tied for the title. and I have to break the bad news to you. We're back next week, I believe. That's
on Bank Holiday Monday.
Ah, I see what you say.
Well, I believe we are anyways. Here's the grid order then at the end of the race. Rocco has won from Campbell in second, Sweet Crown in third, Toxic in fourth, with Miami in fifth. Toxic actually picked up the fastest lap of the race, crucially. Miami in fifth, Verstappen in sixth, Nolan in seventh, Brent in eighth, Ralphie in ninth, Zodemer in 10th, Locke in 11th. Have you ever seen a grid with penalties, albeit 7.5 seconds separated at the top 11? Sofian in 12th, RGW only 700ths off in 13th, Chill in 14th, Lando disappointing for him down in 15th position. And in fact, actually, it's because Toxic, I think... Actually, no, why is it giving the fastest lap to Toxic? Verstappen's got a quicker lap than him, and so does Lando.
Yeah, Verstappen's purple on my screen, but I can see that Lando's done a 39.0.
So I think Lando gets fastest lap point then. If it's outside of the top 10, then you won't get it. But Toxic doesn't get it. Verstappen would get the extra point. Very, very confusing. And Chill actually set a faster lap than as Toxic as well. Rocco, though, has won out on track. And I'm just trying to find the calendar coming into the racing for the next few weeks here in Formula 2.
China
From Britain, we go to China, did you say?
Yeah, China, then Zandvoort, and then Abu Dhabi.
Oh.
So next 3 weeks are going to be interesting.
Who picks those three tracks together? Zandvoort I absolutely love. But China and Abu Dhabi? Really? Really? There's a thought for next season.
There's Russia and Baku after it.
Oh, well,
and
then
France.
Singapore round 9. Austria, Belgium and Bahrain will be epic to the end of the season, I've got to say. But that is it for tonight. The feature race is now well and truly done. The sprint race is now well and truly done. And Mike, I'll come across to you for your final thoughts. What do you think both the races, first and foremost? And second of all, who would you drive of the day?
Absolutely chaotic end to both races. Absolutely fantastic battling out on track. Sometimes went a little bit too far. And honestly, driver of the day for me in both races, considering the comeback drives, is actually Verstappen.
Yeah. I think Verstappen definitely driver of the day as well for me and Mike, certainly. We are back live, of course, Friday night, ACC PS4 at 7 o'clock. Commences, of course, after the championship, so that is now a no-go in terms of the championship this week. But LOE-PC is back at 8 p.m, and Badgerman and Hamish Sopwith as well took you through the action last week, of course. King Kodiak and Badgerman, I think, will take you through the action. And then, well, I'm not as good as both of them commentators, but kind of guess I'm back on... Oh, no, we're not back on Division 1. In fact, it's a break week. What am I thinking about? So actually, LOE-PC will have a break week then.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, well, so what I've just said. Have a good Easter, everyone, and we'll be back after the Easter break. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.